We've been talking quite a lot about the water situation in Cape Town. Dams roughly 60% full. If we have an average or above average rainfall season, then no problem. Come the end of September, the dams will be full, and maybe even that oddity of being 107 or 110% full. But if we have a below average, maybe even a significantly below average rainfall season, then when the rain kind of historically stops falling, October-ish, then we might be sitting with dams that are so not filled that we're going to struggle to get through the summer, and we might have to deal with significant water restrictions. Many responses from listeners. One of them, why not? Theewaterskloof is the biggest dam. It provides, I can't remember the exact number, but somewhere close to 2/3 of the water which is supplied to the city of Cape Town, to homes and businesses and so on. So why not raise the wall? And then I got a response from somebody who said, I've done some research, careful of research on Google, it appears, and that since the dam was opened 45 years ago, it's only been filled to capacity 6 times. So adding more capacity in those circumstances doesn't make much sense. Leonardo Manus, the Executive Director of the City of Cape Town Water and Sanitation Department, joins us now. Leonardo, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John.
I know that some dam walls are raised. There's work going on with Clan William, and people who live in George and listen to me from there tell me that not so long ago the George dam wall was raised. What are the things that go into a decision about whether to raise a dam wall or not?
Well, raising a dam wall, like any other engineering project, John, is most probably possible. But there is always a decision taken between what is possible and what is feasible. And in the case of Clan William, it was feasible to actually make that decision. However, you're keeping in mind it's not always as simple as just adding a few meters above an existing dam wall, and then you say you have a higher dam or a raised dam and therefore more capacity. In the case of Clan William, we had to go down about 15 meters into the foundation again, and to actually get a proper base for an extended or to go the higher part. So you basically build a new dam flushed next to an existing dam. So it's quite expensive exercise in itself, but in that instance it was feasible because adding 13 meters on top of Clan William Dam gave a good, it actually multiplied the capacity that you had. But in the case of Feasibility Dam, in a dam which has already been built beyond the mean annual runoff of that small catchment that it actually is within, because like any other dam, feasibilities normally stop around 1 times the mean annual runoff that will be actually generated from rain in that catchment per annum. This one is twice the size of the mean annual runoff of the catchment, which means that it's like your one listener said, it's highly unlikely for the dam to frequently actually be filled up to 100%. So there's a dam in Limpopo called the Middle Ataba Dam.
Yeah.
And that dam is one of the largest dams you'll find in Limpopo, but it has never been beyond, I think, 15% capacity because it was built too big. And the catchment couldn't actually fill the dam. And now you sit with a large dam, like in the instance of Feasibility Dam, which got a large area, and you lose about 1.7 to 2 meters per year in evaporation, which is quite significant as well. So the feasibility in that decision is based upon elements of such kind to actually determine whether it's possible, it's worth it, the effort. And so up until now, the decision to raise Feasibility was not really in the conversation because it's actually maxed already. But the conversation is more in the space of the Voelvlei Berg River area.
That's the next thing I was going to ask you. If Feasibility is not suitable, then Berg River. I'd think Upper and Lower Steenbras, the way they are connected, probably not. But the other dams, Berg River, Voelvlei, is that an ongoing conversation?
That is, at this point in time, the next big water project in terms of the larger Western Cape water supply system will be the Dam, where a system will now be built to pump water out of the Burke River into the Voelvlei to actually enhance resilience in that space, and the city of Cape Town will benefit from that project as well. That project is due to start very soon. It's been delayed for a few years already. But behind the Voelvlei Dam, there's also the Mitchell's Pass possibility of actually expanding that part, and that will also help to bring into consideration the raising of Voelvlei Dam itself. Burke River Dam's raising is a possibility. But as all projects go, it's according to how you will stage it as far as funding is concerned. So that one remain. And even, John, you mentioned Steenbras and those two dams there. There's possibilities of bringing them also on. But the fact is we need to manage it also in terms of, do we want to put all our eggs in one basket of surface water, again, knowing the uncertainty of climate change? That climate change is actually bringing into our space. We have been, I don't want to use the word lucky, but fortunate, that the higher intensity rainfall events that we've experienced as part of climate change have benefited Cape Town over the past few rainy seasons when it was actually drier seasons, the previous two, not the last one. But yet events actually filled up our dams. So we will trust, as you said in your introductory part, that we will have to see until September what it is, and then we can see whether we actually have our dams filled again.
Because, I mean, there isn't, somebody's asking me about Palmet River now, and whenever we talk about this, people say build more dams, to which I reply, dams are not the solution. Dams, yes, they store water, but they bring with them downstream problems as well. And it's not as if we've got a lot of undammed rivers that we could suddenly get vast amounts of water from.
We have significant volume of our, even in the national sense as well, that's already impounded in dams. But as you said, also there's an ecological demand downstream as well, that if you don't have water flowing down your rivers, you're changing the ecology, which is also not good. And then but we have users, whether it's agricultural users as well as other municipalities such as Drakenstein, Swartland and others, and Saldanha, that's also downstream of us and in the system itself. So that also need to take in consideration besides the ecological point of view. So damming water is an expensive capital cost, but it is perhaps a cheaper water supply that you can get if you compare it with desalination and water reuse. But the risk associated with the uncertainty of climate leaves you still exposed as far as storage water is concerned. And therefore, we start exploring now a new water program in the space of desalination, water reuse, and managed aquifer recharge projects that the city is investing in to ensure that we enhance the resilience of our water supply.
Thank you very much, Leonardo Manus. I hope that was a comprehensive enough reply to the answer which people have been asking. Leonardo is the Executive Director of the Cape Town Water and Sanitation Department.